and the At Tier 1 Setup Shop, we're not just setup builders. We're racers, league admins, and part of the same sim community you are. We build setups for the full NASCAR ladder, Cup, Xfinity, Trucks, Arca, and the grassroots warriors of short track racing, late models, legends, SK, and tour mods, all tested and refined in real race conditions. We listen, we adjust, we improve, because your input makes our setups better.
Are you looking for a league that has racing 3 nights a week or special event races? Tier 1 Racing League is here for you. Most races are broadcasted by our very own Tier 1 studio. From dirt track to super speedways, Tier 1 has side-by-side racing with real drivers and real rivalries. If you wish to join us, go to our website, tier1racingleague.com, where you can find our Discord link and much more information. Don't forget to subscribe to our Tier 1 Studio YouTube and Twitch channels so you don't miss the action.
Are you ready to take your Twitch and Discord experience to the next level? Introducing EasyDayBot, your ultimate bot for seamless interaction. Whether you're live on Twitch or chatting on Discord, EasyDayBot's dynamic responses open up a whole new world of possibilities. Engage with your community like never before through unique prompts, custom reactions, and endless fun. It's the bot that understands you. Make every day an easy day download now at easydaybot.com.
New to Tier 1, first-time customers get 30% off your first purchase, excluding subscriptions. And if you're a streamer, league, or broadcaster, join our sponsorship program. Share your code, your community gets 10% off, and you earn $1 per setup sold with it. Tier 1 Setup Shop. Built with you, built for you. Every lap, every week.
shit goes down at a racetrack that no longer exists in real life. We're going to the shores of the Carolinas in Myrtle Beach, the place to do business tonight. So strap in, get ready for all the high-flying, high-octane racing action as we go short track racing from the legendary Myrtle Beach Raceway. I want to welcome everybody to the big show tonight. Matt Metler up in the Tony Trepasso Memorial broadcast booth. And producer tonight, he may not call him out, but I'm going to acknowledge him. We got the Brett Noble Bolliard up here as well. He's in charge of hitting all the switches as we prepare to go the distance here tonight. Get ready to send it down trackside for the first time this evening. Currently under the warm-up session right now, Justin Evans leads the way with the best lap of a 19:35. He's the HMFIC in charge out there in that Chevrolet. However, this is warm-up, giving these drivers one final one final opportunity to go out there and make some adjustments on these race cars before they get set ready to go the distance. How about Greg Wood Jr., that number 67 machine? Out of Hagerstown, Maryland, this guy has been FAST fast since the open of this season. Looks like he's got a great car again here tonight as he's sitting P2 here. And look how that TRD-powered machine rolls the center of the corner. That's going to be really critical. That car looks so good on entry as he puts the power down there. You see that back end jump out a little bit, but that's characteristic of this racetrack. That car is planted, and he is definitely going to be one of the ones to watch here, as we're now about 3 minutes and 30 seconds in to this final warm-up. Let's go ahead and shift gears and look at tonight's race information. And again, THDesigns, cannot thank them for all they do for the series. Week 4 is the place, Myrtle Beach. Tonight's weather, 77 degrees ambient air temperature. It is hot and humid out there, 90 degrees relative humidity, partly cloudy skies, winds out of the west at 12 and could gust 13 to 15 miles an hour at times. However, that's going to be a non-factor due to the speeds being limited here by the length of this racetrack. Track length officially advertised as a half mile, however, it officially clocks in at 0.51 miles, going to give us a track temperature of a cooling calm, 79 degrees, so these cars will be making all of the grip under the lights in prime time, which means those speeds are going to be ripping throughout the course of this race. Everything happens a lot faster, so something these drivers are going to have to pay attention to as we're going to have prime conditions for some hot lap times here tonight. Also want to take a moment to thank all of you for tuning in here on the youtube.com broadcast. Make sure you smash the like button, click the bell notifications. This way we'll get notified each and every time we go live in prime time as we have races multiple nights a week. All things Tier 1 related under one roof. You're looking for a league that has it all. Guys that want to go harder, go faster, and race respectfully out on the racetrack. You may need a setup for your car as well. That's everything under the Tier 1 roof, your one-stop solution. So if you're interested in being a part of all the high-flying, high-octane racing action, reach out to your admins, reach out to Brett Bolliard, and that could be you out here in competition the next time we go live. That field now getting racked and stacked in front of that iRacing.com pace car as we pull up tonight's starting grid. We're going to have a field tonight of 15 drivers, all going to take the initial green flag with hopes and dreams of being the first one across the start-finish line when all is said and done. And hey, right on cue, a driver I spoke about just a few moments ago, Greg Wood Jr., going to have the pole here in the 67 machine with a lap of a 19.561. That is blistering fast around this place. In second, Matt Erickson in the 28 machine. Going to start outside. Spencer Teal, or Real Deal Teal, going to roll off here in that third place machine. Christopher, my favorite, Pendle, going to roll off here fourth. The fifth place belongs to Christopher Lunsford in the 37. Harry, All I Do Is Win Smith in the 97 machine out of Ronnie Sizemore Racing's camp. He's going to be good for a sixth place entry. Bill Sleep in the 65 ride from Sleep Racing going to roll off here seventh, while TJ Allen is going to kick off this thing from that 8th place position. Eddie Baker, look for him to come to the back to the front, going to start in that 9th place position. Well, Scotty Oddie in the 3, going to round out your top 10. Zach Woods is going to start in that 11th, the passenger that goes faster. And then, of course, Thomas L. Adams going to start in that 12th place position. Outside of him, from the shores of Canada, that's going to be Luca in the 36th machine. Ivan Deschamps, I hope I said that correctly, is going to roll off here 14th and starting shotgun on the field. Let's see if he can go from all the way to the back to the front. That's going to be Justin Evans as that iRacing.com pace car pulls off, and we get ready to go here as that field now rounds to turns 3 and... It's the calm before the storm. 2 by 2, side by side, racked and stacked, ready to rock and roll. Green flag is in the air. The 67 puts it through the floorboards. Up the gearbox we go, and we are racing here from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Wow, Greg Wood took no time in hitting the afterburner. He jumps out to a good lead, but whoa, Spencer Teal closes it back up in turns 3 and 4. Bravo's at the top shelf of the racetrack. The 15 comes up and punts the 28 into the corner. I can't believe how he kept control of that race car. I thought for certain we were going to have the first caution of the evening right there. Great job by these drivers having great situational awareness here as it's close quarters combat. Spencer Teal currently has the fastest lap on the board as it's 2 by 2 side by side action of Fast and Furious about through the first 10-12 positions on the racetrack. Eddie Baker leading on it right now. It looks like we're 3 laps to go in this one. You wouldn't think we were 4 laps in it, but these drivers are already putting on a side-by-side clinic as Greg Wood Jr. is looking in the rear view mirror, loving what he's seeing, trying to get going. In fact, 2 cars are now single file, that being your leader, Wood Jr., and Spencer Teal in that 2nd place position. Spencer Teal, here's a driver that is no slouch when it comes to short track racing, has a lot of experience on the iRacing.com servers, performs very well in other leagues that have had a chance to cover his racecraft in, and look for him to have a good night as we're here. We got it back around just outside of the top 10 here. My goodness, we rack him and stack him on top of each other. Eddie Moore is the 51 trying to pinch down the 3 just a little bit. The 3 slides up, still giving a little bit of daylight between those 2 race cars. And you got to be really careful coming off the corner, especially on the high side, because that car naturally is going to want to go into the fence, and you got to be able to manhandle that machine and keep it off the wall and off the car that you're inside. These drivers showing a lot of give and take right now, a lot of respect as they're trying to get that high line working here. The 28 might be going in the wrong direction. 51's going to clear and take the spot. The 3 trying to follow through and does. So check the box. That's going to move him into 3rd. As we go back up to the point, it is all Greg Wood Jr. Take a look at these lap times here. You can see just why that TRD-powered Camry is FAST fast. Putting down the fastest lap times out on the racetrack right now. Teal trying to keep with him here. But remember, folks, we got a pretty long race here, 150 laps of scheduled distance. We're currently only working lap 10. We're going to get that break at the halfway point of this race. Not officially a stage, but you could look at it like that. You could do it on the NASCAR side of things in the Truck, Xfinity, and the Cup Series. But that's going to give this field an opportunity to re-rack them, restack it. But for right now, these front 2 drivers pretty much have it on cruise control as this field now starts to get a little bit more of a single file look to it. And that's what you want to do here. You want to try to get single file, trim some of the fat off the board. Well, what do I mean by fat? Those laps remaining. Because you want to make sure you have a car that can compete when it comes down to it near the end of this thing. That's a great looking digger cam right there, just like you would see on Fox. I want to thank Brett for all his hard work in the production studio tonight, making this broadcast look as beautiful as it possibly can for all you folks at home. as Greg Wood continues to shine the way here. He carries the torch at the front. Almost a 1 second advantage now between himself and the 18. Gary W. Smith has silently climbed his way up to that third place position in that Mustang. Remember, he started back outside of the top 5, but he has been on the move here in the early going. And in fact, he is turning some of the fastest laps out there on the racetrack right now. Gary W. Smith last time by a 1970. Your leader, Greg Wood, a 1968. So while Wood is faster, Gary W. Smith is right there in the ballpark with him, and you can see why he continues to push his way towards the front of this piece, as he now has his sights set on the 18 of Spencer Teal. How about Eddie Baker cooking here in the early going? That 37 machine, or the 84, excuse me, started further in the rear with the gear. It has taken him virtually no time. 16 laps on the board under green flag conditions, and Eddie Baker is already busted into the top 5. That Chevrolet is vibing right now as he closes in quick, fast, and in a hurry on Christopher Lunsford. Oh, Eddie Baker gets loose. He goes drift mode up there at the top shelf of the racetrack, and I guarantee you that's not what you want to do here at Myrtle Beach, as that's probably got his blood pressure flowing right now. Great battle building here. Christopher Pendle, the 15 machine. 51 behind him, that's Bill Sleep, or TJ Allen, excuse me. 3 cars in a 3-way battle here. You got to be careful if you're Christopher Pendle. You don't want to get caught playing offense and defense at the same time. That can spell catastrophe. These cars are literally stacked right on top of each other. You could pitch a blanket over these guys, no problem. Bill Sleep going to turn it up to the top shelf of the racetrack where Mama hides the cookies. Can't find anything there. Oh, he stuffs it down in front of the 51. The 51 cuts him a break, and now he may lose a position here as he goes under siege from the 3. That may be a conversation between those two drivers later, as Bill Sleep still committed to the high side of the racetrack. He just cannot put the power down like the guys on the inside. And 20 laps on the board, now 21. Our first caution flag of the evening, is it was getting good in the neighborhood for that 7th and 8th place position. Let's see what happens. We go back to the instant replay. Well, folks, classic case here of what happens. Let's take a look at this at quarter speed, if possible, up in the booth. Let's change the camera around here to the eye in the sky, or the drone cam. The 36 is going to drive it in there deep, trying to get down to the bottom, and he's going to nick the corner of the back of that Mustang right there in the business end. As soon as he does that, that car is going to go for a ride, and then he's going to give him a triple tap there just to make sure he goes all the way around as the 6 goes flow rider mode. Look at the 28 and the 27 literally leaning on each other, trying to get skinny and miss the spinning 6. And that's going to fly our first caution flag of the evening. However, really no harm, no foul there. Not much damage for these race cars. They should be perfectly fine and good to go, as that iRacing.com pace car currently leads the charge out front. Cars coming down pit road here a little further in the back. You see the 46 now on pit lane. And I believe we're also going to see that Chevrolet in for service as he now exits its pit stall. Probably just topping off on fuel here, if I had to guess. And that's what timing and scoring is alluding to there as well. No change inside the top 13, 14 cars on the racetrack. 97 on that restart. I don't know if that was strategized or it just worked out that way, but the 97 of, Gary Smith trying to help the 67 by, and he does clear him. As the 18 goes too hard to the corner, washes up the racetrack, he has to lift, and that gives Wood Jr. back the lead once again, as here comes Gary W. Smith now. Look at that car. He is literally on that white line going through the corners. That thing is really turning in good right now. Look at the 97. He gets a little too greedy, though. That's going to open up the outside for the 18. It's a John Force special off the corner, and with the muscle up top, Spencer Teal reclaims that second place position, and they are literally on top of each other behind the 97. You got Eddie Baker. Where did he come from? He's going to cook it in there like grandma's business after church on Sunday. He pulls alongside the 97. Oh, they touch. The 97 gets loose. Baker gets loose. And we go right back at it into the turns 3 and 4 complex. A little bit of self-inflicted concrete poisoning there from the 3 machine. You don't want to do that in this race car. It is not resilient like the next gen. This steel body is nowhere near as forgiving. Baker gonna send it in there again, Bon Jovi style, living on a prayer, and he is gonna, what a save! Are you kidding me? These guys are good. Any other league, that would have been a wreck all day long. I have no idea how he did that. Incredible piece of driving here as we go back to the replay. Watch this, folks. You can't script this good in Hollywood. They come off the corner of their drag race. They bump, they touch. They both go in opposite directions. They save the car. Baker gets in this corner deep. He washes up. It's just when you think all is said and done, watch this. They're trying to throw it in there on the Louisville slider. He just cannot get there. He's going to drive in a little harder, a little deeper, and right there they make contact. The 97 is around. I mean, that's a 10 out of 10 for sure. You're going into the wall there, and yet still under green flag conditions, and we're right back to it. It's 3 wide at Myrtle Beach. Oh, the 51 gets into it. They save it again. That car was at a 35-degree angle. I swear to God, these guys must drift race in real life. You would have thought it was a Thursday night tandem draft here. That is not the case. We're in stock car configuration. The 65 Bill Sleep still under duress, trying to fight for his life and get away from the 6 machine of Zach Woods. The faster pastor back there in that 11th place position. The 28, he's going to lose it. He goes John Deere mode through the grass right back out of the racetrack, and we're still under green flag conditions. There is action all over this racetrack right now as 15 drivers putting on a clinic. This is about as good as you can ask for on the broadcast side of things. It doesn't get any better than this. 2 Chevrolets going nose to tail. Through the corner, Baker trying to put down the power quicker. The 51 using the benefit of the high side to generate more top-end speed off the corner. It is still gridlock. Look at them drifting side by side right across the start-finish line, and they're going to do it again. Back into turns 1 and 2. The 84 surges ahead on the entry, but the 51 able to capitalize on the exit. The end result is this side-by-side, door-to-door showdown coming out of the corner. Look at the 84 drift the race car. The 51 drifts it up into the fence. Self-inflicted concrete poisoning, no harm, no foul. Both these cars still driving good. And TJ Halen has the best spots in the house for this battle. '84 goes up, high fives the 51. I'll tell you what, those General Tires are not happy right now. They're probably screaming for their life. And typically, All right, Discord's backloaded, boss. I'm just getting back in the race set. Race fans, welcome back to Tier 1 Studio, where apparently the action was so hot out on the racetrack it killed the power up top to the booth. We got the lights back on, the stream fired back out, and the caution flag reigns supreme just as we get back to the live action. Let's go back to the instant replay. 3 lanes of mayhem, never a good thing here. And does the 84 clip what happens here? As I was in the dark, 3 wide just behind the 51. It is not okay to 3-way at Myrtle Beach. And Eddie Baker just served up a decleater off the nose of Christopher Pendle in the Ford. Watch the 14 or the 84 come up the racetrack. The 15 is going to come down a smidge. Then the 6 is going to administer a shot almost face first to the nose of that Chevrolet. However, that's going to help Baker and point him back straight. And that right there is going to throw the caution flag once again. Well, we were in the dark, if you can believe this, folks. Greg Wood Jr. self-spun from the lead. After all of this razzle-dazzle, you're now left with Gary W. Smith as the control car. He is your leader in that Mustang. Spencer, the real deal Teal, still holding strong in that second place position. He's going to own the outside lane on the restart. Then in third, in that Toyota, that's where you're going to find the 67. Also, we have that halfway break looming here in the distant future as we work lap 69. That halfway break. And I'll tell you what, folks, if that first half of the race didn't excite you, wait until the back half, because it's only going to get dialed up from there. Is lap number 70 now officially on the scoreboard? These cars get lined up nice and tight. The 67 is all over the back of the 97. You can tell he is trying to go. Let's see who has the restart. It says both cars in second to that fourth place position. Looks like a restart back from the COT days at Talladega. We're back underway. The 97 shoots out of a cannon. He gets going. He gets the lead. And the 67 and the 18 of Teal are side by side, door to door, picking right up where they left off. Oh, the 3 goes up there and high fives the fence. He's going to be able to maintain the position as the 51 just cannot get that car to turn off the bottom. Look at the run. The 3 had to get on the binders. The 3 is possessed right now on the racetrack, on this restart. He is 5 to 7 miles an hour faster than anyone out there getting up to speed. What an impressive piece of driving is that other Chevrolet's going to start to fire back on the Ford. Gary W. Smith continues to lead the way. He carries the torch here at lap 73. That Mustang was great coming through traffic. Now he gets the first taste of clean air. And look at what the air does to this race car. I know typically we start talking about aerodynamics and the effect of dirty air on cars. We all think about the next gen, but that's even applicable to this race car. I guarantee you that 97 is turning better than it has all race long as he's trying to keep that ferocious Camry behind him in his rear view mirror as he has dialed up the charge and now working just about a car length and a half back off of your leader. Then you're going to have about 4 car lengths separation back to third, and that's the next 3-way battle on the racetrack. We're going to keep it pointed here in this battle up front. It's the battle of Smith on Wood, and that's going to be the caution flag for the halfway point. And I said at the top of the broadcast, all Gary W. Smith does is win at times, and he is going to take the first stage of this race. Your pole sitter going to slide back one spot. He's going to come in second. And folks, remember, we still have the other half of this race to go. We are not done by any means. But what a first half, little bump there from the 67. I'm not sure if that's congratulatory or perhaps he's a little upset with him. We'll find out later on, I'm sure. Especially if these drivers finish where they are right now. We'll be talking to both of them. Remember, post-race, we're going to talk to your top 3 each and every time. So make sure you stick around for that. Chance for us to catch our breath and these drivers as well as I did not anticipate the intensity of the opening half of that race being lit like that. That was absolutely incredible stuff from these drivers. Now that we have a moment, let's talk about the point standings coming into this race. Greg Wood Jr., your pole sitter, currently commands the lead in the points with 148 points. The Baker, the Eddie version, 26 back, residing in second. The pastor that goes faster, Zachary Woods, going to round out your top 3, 39 points behind Junior. Gary W. Smith currently in that 4th place position, but if he has a great night tonight looking to gain some ground, as Justin Evans rounds out your top 5. Then you got the battle of the Chris's, Christopher Lunsford and Pendle, just 1 point separating them from between 6th and 7th, and in fact, it just gets tighter from here. The difference between 6th place and 9th place, just 3 points, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. So you have 1 point difference between Lunsford and Pendle. That's 6th and 7th, and Matthew Erickson just 52 points back in 9th. Blair Russell, 53 points, and Justin Summer going to round out your top 10 coming into tonight's event. Now, don't forget, you want to talk about high-octane, high-flying racing action. We have it here, folks, more than 3 nights a week. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night showdown. Got race number 2 from Cedar Lake. Big blocks going out there doing battle on the racetrack. You're not an asphalt guy. You like the dirt side of things. Check the box. We got that covered. Then we have our special event that I believe it's the Tier 1. Yes, it is 200 at Homestead. $25 entry fee. It's going to be broadcasted right here on your home for all things Tier 1. Tier 1 Studio. That's going to be the Xfinity cars at one of my favorite racetracks, Xfinity Homestead. That's going to be August 16th at 8:45 p.m. Green Flag. And that's going to be all times Eastern. And if that ain't enough, also doing a podcast to complete the package as that pace car pulls off. We get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing, that podcast. Mondays, right here on Tier 1. Is about to get the green flag back in the air. The 15 is going to lead the charge. He does not go a big-time bump there from the 18. It is hot, close quarters, and heavy here at the front of this piece. As the 15 is going to be able to get, oh, look at the 97 fight back on the outside. I thought he was done. I thought the 15 had the spot won. Smith takes caution out on the racetrack. Thank you for that, Brett. I appreciate it. Let's go back here to the replay again. This is just after the restart here. Send it up to the eye in the sky. Does Baker get clipped again? Oh, no. Seems like the 84 Baker just has that dark black voodoo cloud looming over himself on the racetrack. He just cannot catch a break right now. Very similar, deja vu to what we've seen earlier in the race. He has that late apex into the corner compared to some of these other guys, and they're getting their nose down there first, and by the time he turns down, there's another race car there. The 36 just really rips the bottom, and by the time Baker tries to fit his race car in there, there's just not enough room, and that's short track racing for you. You know, every driver is going to have a different way they attack these racetracks. You have to be very conscientious on the racetrack as others back the corners up, you know, versus your driving style. There's a lot you're going to have to take into consideration, and sometimes things like that happen, and they happen frequently in this type of an environment. And for as fast Eddie Baker is, I mean, he is going to the rear again. Hopefully his crew chief can keep him locked, ready to rock, and guarantee he's probably a little animated right now, as that's happened to him a few times this race. But up here at the front, how about Christopher Pendle in the 15 machine? Taking a look at the back door cam out of Pendle's ride out of Aberdeen, Ohio. Do not let his iRating fool you, folks. If you're one of those drivers or one of those guys that look at iRating and use that as your only metric to gauge a driver's quality, this man will certainly blow that logic out of the water, as he is way better than a sub 2K, I can promise you that. This guy will eat you up, especially if you underestimate him in that Celsius machine, and he's going to have the button here. We're going to try this once more. iRacing.com pace car pulls off. There he goes. Here we go. 2x2, side by side, about to get back to the boogie at the beach. Green flag in the air. Those glorious green or V8s come roaring back to life here in prime time once more. 2 Fords, 2x2, side by side. Pendle on the bottom. The 97 controls the top lane. The 15 literally painting that white line through the middle of the corner. The 97 gets high off the corner. He's going to get hit. He's going to get hit from the wall and then from the 18 of Spencer Teal. We're still going to stay green as it's fast and furious, racked and stacked behind him. Pendle trying to set sail now and get away from Real Deal Teal. He's going to open it up here about 2.5 car lengths. Look at the 15 continuing to get down to the bottom, taking the shortest distance around this racetrack. Single file, one lane of conveyor belt style ripping here at the beach. We work lap 90 of the scheduled 150. 2 cars side by side. Bill sleeps at it again. And the 67, oh, he tried to throw it in there. The 51 through the block. I wasn't sure he was going to get down in time, but he did. And that's really going to impede the 67's progress as he's trying to get back up to the point. That's the difference. That's the separation here at Myrtle Beach. As large and in charge as Christopher Pendle. With Ford power under the hood, here comes that Chevrolet though. Teal has been there on the heels in second place, whether if it was Wood Jr., whether if it's the 15 or Smith. He has been there in the mix, not letting these guys get away, and now he thinks it's his turn to go. He's going to try to get a little bit of help there off the corner from the 97, cannot put the power down. The 51 comes roaring back on the outside. It is just so tough to complete the pass when you're pinned, that car pinned down. You got 2 options. Don't come off the corner as hard as you want to, or put your foot in it and clear the car on the outside with you to get the spot. That's literally the only choices you have. You can see the showmanship, the respect these drivers have for one another out there on the racetrack. As it is up close and personal, but they are not KOing each other. They are racing as good as you possibly can, in my opinion. This is some great stuff coming from a racetrack that I don't think is featured enough in iRacing in general. And these drivers are making it look easy right now, and I can promise you this place is anything but. Don't look now, but here he comes. The 51 continuing to stay committed to the outside of the racetrack. Is now Gary W. Smith, works back in. The inside of the 18. Just cannot get the rotation off. He's going to re-rack, try it again. Look at how deep he drives it into the corner. Peyton the beat on the back of that car. Now he's going to turn it down. He wants the lead back. Teal gets him plenty of room. Goes way up the racetrack. It's a John Force special here. Drag race back into the corner. Pick your poison, folks. That's going to allow the 3 machine to sneak into this fight as well. 2 Fords going up against 1 Chevrolet. Inside of your top 3. Teal fighting for his life right now. And Gary Smith giving him everything he can handle. And the more these 2 battle side by side, the 3 is loving this because he is now a factor in this race. He is there. I think right now, if you're the 3, the best thing you can do is just stay close, sit and watch, let these 2 drivers burn up their stuff. Because I promise you, folks, you cannot run like this for another 50 laps. Those tires just will not last. There's no way you could do it. And just as I say that, they try to get back single file. However, all that hard racing may open the door for the 3. It looked like the 18 slipped there for just a moment. I thought the 3 was going to be able to get under him. But the 67, hey, if you can't do it, I can. He's going to send it into the corner, full send. He's going to be able to pull him off the corner. Look at how that Camry gets through the corner, just as I alluded to during the warm-up. That car was scary good through the middle, and he is showing that again. He's going to make quick work of that Mustang. Check the box. He has now cracked the top 3, and he is on a charge to the front. Gary W. Smith knows he is on the move. He is going to try to put down some hot laps and get away, or hopefully Teal can hold him up just a little bit. He may have hit the inside wall. I did see a couple sparks fly. Not seeing much in the form of damage on that race car, though, so no harm, no foul. Carry on. Look at that 18. Look at the bumps. Look at how that chassis, that body of that race car is twisting. It's going, I mean, you can tell that racetrack has a bumpy highlight, and he's committed to making it work up there. Is that still is going to allow the 67 to clear the spot, and now he gets to set sail and has his sights on the leader. There's your gap. There's the difference. We'll throw the timer up, the lap tracker, so you can follow along at home. And every time you see the green, that's going to be a gain to keep it simple. And that's going to give you the past 4 laps, so we're looking at lap 100 to lap 104. And you can see Wood is clearly quicker than Smith. And now he is trying to get out of Dodge anything he can do to hopefully make that Camry use up his stuff, use up those tires. Both of these drivers, though, have been in some tough trench-style battles out there on the racetrack, utilizing those generals at times. It's all going to come down to perhaps who has done a better job here, as we're still lean, mean, and green all the way through this field. Tell you what, another driver that's really been getting after it, the 37 right here, and Bill Sleep, those two have been like magnets, just cannot seem to get away from one another this race. Probably the most separation they've had at quite some time. To send it back up to the point. Folks, with 108 laps on the board, we're going to step aside, take a very quick break. We'll come back with coverage all the way through the finish of this race, post-race and more, right here on Tier 1 Studio. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. We'll be right back.
At Tier 1 Setup Shop, we're not just setup builders. We're racers, league admins, and part of the same sim community you are. We build setups for the full NASCAR ladder, Cup, Xfinity, Trucks, Arca, and the grassroots warriors of short track racing, late models, legends, SK, and tour mods, all tested and refined in real race conditions. We listen, we adjust, we improve, because your input makes our setups better.
Are you looking for a league that has racing 3 nights a week or special event races? Tier 1 Racing League is here for you. Most races are broadcasted by our very own Tier 1 studio. From dirt track to super speedways, Tier 1 has side-by-side racing with real drivers and real rivalries. If you wish to join us, go to our website, tier1racingleague.com, where you can find our Discord link and much more information. Don't forget to subscribe to our Tier 1 Studio YouTube and Twitch channels so you don't miss the action.
Are you ready to take your Twitch and Discord experience to the next level? Introducing EasyDayBot, your ultimate bot for seamless interaction. Whether you're live on Twitch or chatting on Discord, EasyDayBot's dynamic responses open up a whole new world of possibilities. Engage with your community like never before through unique prompts, custom reactions, and endless fun. It's the bot that understands you. Make every day an easy day download now at easydaybot.com.
New to Tier 1, first-time customers get 30% off your first purchase, excluding subscriptions. And if you're a streamer, league, or broadcaster, join our sponsorship program. Share your code, your community gets 10% off, and you earn $1 per setup sold with it. Tier 1 Setup Shop. Built with you, built for you. Every lap, every week.
Race fans, we got the bills paid. Now that that's out of the way, let's get back to the boogie at the beach, where you'll find Gary W. Smith in that Ford, still holding off and trying to fend off Craig Wood Jr., who has recovered all the way up to that second place position, up 12 spots officially on the scoreboard. Look at these drivers drifting through the corner. Greg Wood went full-blown 240 SX drift mode. I don't know if we can show that on a replay, but it clear that car was at a 35-degree angle through the corner, and he stuck it. Watch this, folks. This is as good as it gets right here. This car is eating at the back of that car is, look at that. That looks like a pro modified at a dirt track. What a masterful piece of driving from Greg Wood Jr. as he is getting all of it right now. I cannot tell you how tough it is to do that out here in this race car. It is anything but easy as Greg Wood continues to reel in your leader. 8.2 or 0.82 seconds, 0.8 of a second your difference. Now that gets sliced down to 0.7 as we go on board with Greg Wood Jr. As the back of that Ford starts to get bigger out the front windshield of his race car, the pressure now mounts for Smith with under 30 laps to go. You can see how he's getting off the corner here. Attacking the entry hard on the binders. You can see all the wheel he's having to throw in that race car. And this is where it takes the patience. It's when you put the throttle down off the corner. As a driver, you know, hey, the quicker I get back into the throttle, the more speed I'm going to have on exit. But that comes with a premium, and you could pay a penalty. Really easy to have that car go around on you there. And that's where that veteran mindset comes in, being patient and just utilizing what the car is going to give you. Take what the racetrack is going to give you. As we get back here just a couple spots off of the lead, and it is a handful for Scotty Otti in that top sponsored machine. There's Eddie Baker, a driver that has had a rough week in other competition here in Tier 1, and he is trying to put it behind him, but that seems to be following him here tonight on the ARCA side of things as well. Back in that 13th place position. Remember, he's been as high as P3 tonight. However, time's starting to wind down for the driver of that 84 Chevrolet. So there's a fierce battle just in front of them. Spencer Teal currently occupies the third and final podium position, while TJ Allen trying to dethrone him from a post-race interview. Back to the point. Best lap for Smith going to be a 19.531. Last time by, a 19.928, so you can start to see the fall off here. The other side of that, and we've seen this 2 weeks ago, is are we seeing everything that Gary Smith has underneath the hood of that race car, or is he managing the gap? And in fact, that gap has now gone the other way. Moments ago, that lead was down to 0.7 of a second. Now it has widened outside of a second. Back to the 67 of Wood Jr. Last time by, those drivers virtually mirroring lap times as it's 2x2 side by side. Once again here in that fourth and third and fourth place position. TJ gonna try to drive it down to the bottom. The 18's gonna cover it. Be able to carry that momentum about a half lane off the bottom. Almost scrapes the wall. You couldn't have fit a sheet of paper between that Chevrolet and the outside catch vents. Teal still holding tough. Defending, blocking, doing whatever it takes to keep these hungry pack of race cars behind him. One slip from the 18 could cost him a handful of positions. Here's the 51, and him almost had a meeting of the minds there. And they are still leaning on each other door to door. Now the 51's going to clear. TJ going to surge back ahead. Baker trying to steal that lane, that position from the 18 now as he's going to keep him to the outside. Look at Baker being very aggressive on corner entry. Can he make it stick and rotate off? You can see that car trying to slide up the racetrack. They almost made contact there again. Wait. Baker, remember folks, is multiple laps down. 5 laps down to be exact. However, you wouldn't know by the way he is driving right now. Oh, he gets big time loose. What a save from Baker. Here comes the 15 on the outside. He knows that that 84 is lit right now, and the competition side of him is bursting with energy inside the cockpit of that race car. He has tried to get away, but the Baker just won't let him. And again, this back at 5th place position, where you're going to find Christopher Pendle. Thomas Adams just behind this in that 3 machine, that's 6th. Back up to the front with 17 laps remaining. It is still Gary Smith, and he is starting to open up the distance now. He's about 2 counties away from Greg Wood Jr. as he almost has 2 seconds of real estate between himself and Greg Wood Jr. You want to talk about turning the tides, the rolls really quick. The 67 was running hand down, quick, fast, and in a hurry. But I mentioned, you got to manage your equipment. You got to save those generals. You cannot use and abuse them. And apparently, the 67 got a little too greedy with him, perhaps, trying to run down the 97. He was able to save a little bit, and you can see the end result here. Now approaching 2 seconds for Gary Smith. How much would a win mean to this kid in this series? Had a chance to interview him a couple weeks ago, and he was thrilled just to be on the podium. Imagine if he's able to close this thing out and get a dub. That would be one heck of an interview. Now take a look, Christopher Lunsford here inside the top 10, residing in that 8th place position. This battle for position. That's Thomas L. Adams in the 27, trying to hold on for his life. Back up to inside the top 5. Christopher Teal, Christopher Pendle, or excuse me, Spencer Teal, Christopher Pendle. Little 18 on 15 action right here. You can tell these cars, the handling's starting to go away. That nose is starting to slide on entry, go washing up the hill. Having a hard time getting that car to wrap right around the bottom of this racetrack. That right front starting to get hot, used and abused. And that right rear, if I imagine, is probably going away with it as well. Look at just how hard these drivers are pushing. And Gary Smith has set sail. He has found the afterburner, another gear in that race car, and continues to get going at the beach. Now over 2 seconds, 2.10 to be exact. Last time by, Gary Smith ran a 20.06 to Greg Wood's 20.07. TJ, the fastest car inside the top 3. Last time by, ran a 19.95. Taking to the best battle on the racetrack, and that's going to be the battle for 7th. Scotty Hottie going back up against with Chris Lunsford. Ford on Chevrolet action here. 37, and again with this race car here, it produces really good racing at this racetrack. The inside lane being the preferred line out to the shortest distance. However, the outside lane, you can generate more momentum mid-corner off, and that's going to help you on the straightaway. The end result is a drag race getting into the next corner, and you got to do it all over again. It's like heavyweight boxing. You have to go all the way, all the rounds, and you have to survive to be alive and win that spot. That's what we've seen a few times this evening. A little bit of damage there to the nose of the 27. As he's trying to set up the 37, perhaps get a mistake, get inside his head, make him make an air mirror drive. That's the last thing you want to do. Try to intimidate your competitor just a little bit. Now 6 laps remaining. The longest 6 laps, perhaps, of Gary Smith's life as he comes by again to start finish line. 5 laps to go for the 97. This night started off with him starting in that 6th place position, able to claw and fight his way up to the lead. Greg Wood Jr., the car that dominated the beginning of this race, had a self-spin while we were away. He has rebounded all the way back to 2nd, but he has not had the pace to go out there and compete with this Mustang. And it seemed like ever since that Gary W. Smith has got the lead, he found extra pace with that race car as well when he got the clean air. However, Greg Wood is closing it back in, though, at an alarming rate. That gap has dropped down to 3.7 seconds. Look at the huge gains here. .3 seconds now back to the 67 of Greg Wood Jr. as he has hit the afterburner last time by. He ran a 20 flat to Smith's 20.14. 2 laps to go. I don't think it's going to be enough. He may have waited too long to get the last bit of goodness out of that race car, as we are now 1 lap to go. Smith just needs one clean lap here. Going to arc it into the corner, down to the bottom. Off the corner, he's going to wait to the fans, to the stands. It's still over a second back through the turns. 3 and 4 complex for the final time. He is going to put it to the floorboards. And Gary, all I do is win. Smith is going to win the battle at the beach, and he is going to drift it all the way around this racetrack. Solid 1 and 2 execution. Does he keep it going through 3 and 4? He is going to back off of it. You see Greg Wood Jr. go on by. And how about that? This kid out of the beautiful state of Virginia is now a winner in the Tier 1 presented by THDesigns Arca series, and he's going to burn it down to the start-finish line. While he burns it down, we're going to go a side-by-side commercial break, folks. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
At Tier 1 Setup Shop, we're not just setup builders. We're racers, league admins, and part of the same sim community you are. We build setups for the full NASCAR ladder, Cup, Xfinity, Trucks, Arca, and the grassroots warriors of short track racing, late models, legends, SK, and tour mods, all tested and refined in real race conditions. We listen, we adjust, we improve, because your input makes our setups better.
Are you looking for a league that has racing 3 nights a week or special event races? Tier 1 Racing League is here for you. Most races are broadcasted by our very own Tier 1 studio. From dirt track to super speedways, Tier 1 has side-by-side racing with real drivers and real rivalries. If you wish to join us, go to our website, tier1racingleague.com, where you can find our Discord link and much more information. Don't forget to subscribe to our Tier 1 Studio YouTube and Twitch channels so you don't miss the action.
Are you ready to take your Twitch and Discord experience to the next level? Introducing EasyDayBot, your ultimate bot for seamless interaction. Whether you're live on Twitch or chatting on Discord, EasyDayBot's dynamic responses open up a whole new world of possibilities. Engage with your community like never before through unique prompts, custom reactions, and endless fun. It's the bot that understands you. Make every day an easy day download now at easydaybot.com.
New to Tier 1, first-time customers get 30% off your first purchase, excluding subscriptions. And if you're a streamer, league, or broadcaster, join our sponsorship program. Share your code, your community gets 10% off, and you earn $1 per setup sold with it. Tier 1 Setup Shop. Built with you, built for you. Every lap, every week.
Race fans, welcome back to prime time here in Myrtle Beach. In the nighttime was the right time for Gary W. Smith to break through and get his first win of the season in what was a high-octane thriller here. These drivers put on a heck of a battle, but at the end, only one can win, and it was the 97 out of Ronnie Sizemore Racing. As we go back to the replay, cue the DJ, call it. All I do is win here tonight. This kid is he is getting scary good.
Hi.
Joining me now up in the booth, Gary. All I do is win. Smith, congratulations, brother. I know 2 weeks ago you got a podium, man. You were lit like a tater chip. Tonight, you put on one of the best performances I've seen on a short track against excellent competition in quite some time. How were you able to dethrone that Camry, keep him behind you, and go out there and bag one at the beach? The floor is yours.
Well, going into this race, the main thing that's on my mind was the penalty, not penalty. What's the word? Come on. Formation, yeah, some of the P. And I'm scared of running into people. So, of course, naturally, the first thing I did was run into people. I didn't mean to do that. That's just kind of how it happened. I did not mean to get into TJ early in the race there. I know if that was on the in-car or whatever, that probably looked kind of dirty. Because I got him sideways, then I got up to his door and turned right. I was trying to knock him back straight. I think I did it right.
I think you did. Yeah, you actually did.
Besides that, I think it felt like it was pretty clean. It was I bought this track like 3 months ago. I ran one late model race. I rage quit lap 5, so I have borderline no experience here. So in the practice, I was trying to get the rhythm down, and it vaguely reminds me of the track I run in real life. Yeah, something like it. But real happy to hold off Greg, because that dude's he was making me nervous there in the last 5 laps because my right front was gone, and he knows how to save these things a lot better than I do. He was coming, but just enough laps in the race to let me hold him off. I want to thank TJ Hanley with THDesigns who sponsors this. I want to thank Braden Laster, even though he doesn't know me from Adam. I drove his car. Victory Lane. It feels good.
Man, I couldn't be happier for you, brother. I know you and TJ, good buddies, spent a lot of time working together. So apparently that's the formula for success. Don't worry about it. Just buy it, go out there, run a couple practice laps, and just send it. And I know you have a lot more experience than that. But, I mean, talk to me about the pressure here that you felt inside the race car. Under 10 laps to go. You have over a 2-second advantage. And then it was like Wood Jr. just found the nitrous button in his race car, and he just took off, and he was coming in a hurry. How were you able to keep the composure inside the race car and just hit your marks and close out the end of this race, which must have felt like an eternity for you?
Oh my gosh, I felt like I've been in this stupid room for like 3 years. Maybe longer than that. I don't know. It was definitely a lot. I don't know. That was right up there with some of the stuff me and Eddie used to do back in Demon Trucks. You remember all that stuff. But
yeah, certainly
probably
do,
Eddie, holding off Eddie was definitely a help with the experience in that. Golly, I just touched my wheel. That's about 1,000 degrees. I'm trying to 4th degree burns. That's the hospital. Golly. But
did you say your wheel's that hot?
it's not 4th degree burn hot, but it's definitely hot.
Okay. Sounds like things are his wheels are spiciest performance on the racetrack, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I was wheeling that thing though. It got loose there, and then like around 10 to go, went from wrecking loose to, which I mean, it was when it was wrecking loose when I was doing all right, and then it just switched over to tight, and I was kind of lost. I slammed the brake bias as far back as it would go. I didn't do nothing.
You feel lost. I didn't know if it was drift night or if you guys were out there stock car racing at times. I mean, you're out there drifting the corner. Greg Wood Jr.'s, I mean, literally drifting 3 and 4 at times, the whole quarter. and then here you are at the end, you blow the right front off the car, and you're still able to bring it home in one piece. You know, a lot of times, we see this in real life too, there's been drivers that have been on the cusp of getting that first win, but they somehow elude them. Now you've finally punched through. You have gotten that win in the series. Do you feel like there's some pressure off you now that you can just go out here and focus and compete? Because I feel like there's more wins on the horizon for you.
I mean, to be honest, I'm just doing this for fun. Like, I've run every race, so it's not meaning I run for a championship. I just kind of out here trying to have fun, and tonight was definitely fun, and that's why I'm here. You know, if every race could be like this, that'd be great. I didn't get to say it on the podcast because I'm wrecked, but at Charlotte, I did the stupidest mistake in my Irish career and wrecked the top 3 there. I definitely got what I deserved with Eddie, but so to come back from that whole mess and have a clean, fun, longer run race like this is very, very nice.
Yeah, I imagine Eddie's probably going to need an edible after this race. I mean, he was treated like a redheaded stepchild out there tonight at times, and I know he's been having a rough week, so far. But send him my well wishes. I know Eddie's one heck of a competitor, and he'll rebound from this. But tonight is all about you, man. So happy you got to punch through, got to call the race. It's been a long time coming for your brother. Before I cut you loose, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 97? The floor is yours.
Well, I mean, with this car, none of my real life sponsors are on it, but TJ Hanley, like I said, THDesigns sponsors the series. He's a real good guy, real good paint scheme maker. I mean, I've seen him do stuff that's like sorcery on paint schemes in like 2 clicks, and I think about it for like the rest of the night. Don't get no sleep. He's like, he's magic. But besides that, everybody listen to this. Go follow Gary Smith Racing on Facebook. That's my real life racing page. Run Legends in like Southeast Virginia. I'm working on getting down to Ace in North Carolina. But yeah, that's about it.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Gary W. Smith goes prime time under the lights in the Mid-Atlantic and wins a thriller at the beach. He's a winner in the THD Arca series right here on Tier 1 Studio. Congratulations. Enjoy this one, man. And I hope to be speaking with you again soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Tell you what, love it when someone is pumped up after a race, and he certainly was. Is going to continue on now, talking with our top 3. Next up, joining me up top in the broadcast booth, Greg Wood Jr. You got a copy, sir?
Hello?
Try it one more time. Matt up top in the booth, you got a copy, sir?
Sure do.
Greg, my goodness, did that Camry have some fire underneath the hood tonight? You seem like you were the man to beat through the first half of that race. Your car was leaps and bounds better than the competition. We had that halfway point break. A problem there after the restart. That car got away from you. Heck of a fight coming back through there. Rebounded all the way to second. I thought you were going to run out of time, and then you found the afterburner. You hit a nitrous button or something in that race car, and you were closing the gap in a hurry. Just didn't leave enough time on the board. I don't think anyone passed as many cars out there tonight as you did. What's the feeling? How do you feel right now? Do you feel good, or do you feel like one got away from you?
Honestly, I'm pissed because this is the second night in a row I got screwed by lap cars. So definitely gave that one away. I don't understand the mentality of lap cars. Like, Evans knew he was blinking. He ran the top. I watched him lap after lap, ran the top, stayed out of the way. And then when I got into like 3 car lengths of him, he starts running the bottom again. And I know it sounds like a conspiracy theory, but he blinked so hard in 2. When he came back, my screen glitched and I hit the freaking turtle. That's when I spun it. But it's like, if you're a lap car and you know leaders are coming, just like, he was staying out of the way. And Justin is not a bad dude at all. Like, he's very respectful. I just don't understand why all of a sudden, when I get close to you, now you want to decide to run the bottom. So it's 2 nights in a row. I'm leading a race. I'm gapping the field. And then a lap car kind of screws me. So, I mean, yes, I'm glad I finished second. And yes, I don't know what happened, but it was like 12 to go. My tires just came back to life. And I ran them down from 2.8 to, I think, 1.2 seconds.
It was almost a second flat. You are correct. Yes, sir.
It almost like, and I was like, all right, I'm going to catch them. And I just ran out of time. Mad at myself because I gave it away. I sped on pit road. I went like 37 there at the line, and it nabbed me. And I was like, all right, well, I guess I got to come through the field. And I used most of my tires coming through the field. But yeah, once again, fast car, had a fast truck last night, and it's just, I don't know, something I hope gets done with these lap cars. Maybe a new rule to where whatever the preferred lane is, if you're a lap car, you can't run there, especially if the leader's coming behind you, because I mean, I got hit last night. Justin Sumner got taken out last night, all by lap cars, just not having spatial awareness. It's the most frustrating thing. I mean, yeah, it's a game and everything, but I mean, we're here to have fun. We're here to practice. We're here to win. We're here to win the money, win the championship, and just people with no spatial awareness or just making mistakes just takes it away from you. So, but all in all, I mean, it was a good race. I thought there'd be a lot more cautions than there was. I was hoping there'd be one in the last stint because we could get on equal tires. Because equal tires, I had Gary. I mean, I'm not dogging Gary whatsoever. He's a very good driver, but I had him. I mean, I had the whole field's number. It seemed like for some reason. So not to toot my own horn or anything. The car was hooked up. I found a line that worked. I would wrap the paint in 3 and 4, and I could launch. And this one got away from me. So while it's still second, it's still the first loser, and it sucks the worst.
Greg, thank you for that honest rundown and recap of your race tonight. And, I agree with everything you're saying there. And, on the admin side, it's not the hat I wear, but I feel your frustration there as a competitor out there on the racetrack. Nothing just burns your biscuits more when you're trying to go back through the field in a car that you know you can win with, when lap traffic impedes that progress or just destroys your evening. And I mean, you've just been there and I've been there, and I understand what you're saying. And I'm sure if the league feels like there's something they need to do about it, they'll address it. But nonetheless, man, you were a fierce competitor tonight. That car was extremely fast, and you passed more cars out there than anybody. And I get the disappointment, but still hang your head high for what you were able to accomplish out there on the racetrack. I mean, they tried to bury it, and you just kept kicking the dust off, and you kept coming. And if you would have had a couple more laps, I think it could have been a different story for you. It would have been a heck of a battle. But until next time, man, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 67? The floor is yours.
First and foremost, got to thank God. Nothing's possible without him. Thank my teammates at TTR. I mean, we are a family. We help each other out, BS in the chat and everything. And, I mean, all in all, it was a good race. I can't really complain too much. And it's just coulda, woulda, shoulda if Ivan didn't slam the brakes coming out of 2. That's what stuck me down those 8/10ths. I could have got to Gary's bumper. So shoulda, coulda, woulda, but it's on to next week, on to Phoenix. And Phoenix, I got to say, is my playground. So thank you for being an amazing broadcaster. Thanks to everybody in the league. Overall, it was a pretty clean race for these cars not even meant to be on Myrtle Beach. It actually turned out pretty good. So thanks, everybody, for keeping it pretty clean with a skatey setup and just a track that it's just a hard track to race. I mean, you got to nail every mark or you're just dog water. So, but yeah, on to Phoenix. I'm very much looking forward to Phoenix because I love Phoenix and I'm pretty damn good at Phoenix. So that's what I look forward to.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. That Tier 1 sponsored car had Tier 1 or P1 speed all night tonight. However, other things happened on the racetrack. Some he could not control and ultimately ended up coming home and rallying to a solid P2 finish. However, he feels like one got away from him. You can hear it in his voice. And you better look out next week because that 67 is going to be primed and ready to go more than perhaps ever. So make sure you steep here on Tier 1 Studio for all things ARCA next week. Greg, I appreciate your time. You have a great rest of the week. I look forward to watching you out there the next time we rack them up. Two down, one to go, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this all part of the Tier 1 Studio post-race coverage. And quite frankly, 2 phenomenal interviews. I really appreciate the driver's honesty and openness to just let it all out there. And again, this is their raw reaction right after that race wraps up. And nonetheless, let's go ahead and speak with our third place finisher here this evening.
How's it going, guys?
There we go. We're back. TJ, Matt up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. How are you?
After that race, how could you be any better? I mean,
Yeah, pretty
if
good.
you would have if you would have told me that would have been a side-by-side juggernaut battle all race long, you guys had me fooled on a car that's not even supposed to be out there on this racetrack. You, my friend, you guys as a whole put on a show. Fire me up, man. Come home with a third place finish. I mean, you were in the trenches out there all night tonight. You were fighting for your life. I mean, lap after lap, your car's got all kinds of dings and dents on it. How did you save that thing and will it to come home third?
I tell you what, it's pretty much just basically it boils down to the way the last couple of weeks run. We've run really good here on all of the officials. Myrtle Beach is one of those places that we expect to run well here. And to be truthful, I struggled hard in practice. I was overdriving the cars. The guys were lefting a lot sooner than I was, which is getting that speed. And then all of a sudden at the end of it, I found it. And then I was able to just, it was beating and banging out there. I got spun quite a few times there at USA, rallied back for a fifth. And then we had that incident there at Charlotte out in the front of the field. And, tonight I was just like, man, I don't want to get spun at all, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I just want to finish the race in a good position. Podium's fantastic. The racing was super hard. The blocking was super, super hard, and it's like, you want to do everything you can to get around every driver without moving them. If you're faster than that guy that's in front of you, you should be able to get around him without touching that car, without doing anything. And sometimes you got to move him, touch him a little bit, but there's a fine line. You can't just ship it off into the corner and not let. You can't Austin Dillon. You can't Austin Dillon them at Richmond. You got to beat and bang a little bit, give them an opportunity to get going, and just carry on with your race. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Hey, that's a great point you bring up, and you're absolutely right. There's a fine line between what's considered racing out there on the racetrack and then what's outside of that, and clearly driving through somebody or punting them into the wall. And you hit the nail on the head with that statement. Hey, so you're out of the Sunshine State. I've been here for the past 7 years myself. Talk to me about these tires tonight. It seemed like when you fired off, you had a lot of confidence in the race car, but then as the laps went on, if you got a little too aggressive with that loud pedal to throttle, boy, did that right rear start to go away. How were you able to manage the tires, and what was it like trying to take care of them out there over the course of 150 laps tonight?
It's tough because half the field wants to save and half the field doesn't want to save. So, and you mix all those guys up at a group like a small place like this, and you just have calamity, and it happens. And it didn't happen as much as I thought it was tonight. These guys ran pretty good. We did have a couple of incidences out there on the racetrack, and 9 times out of 10, it's literally just because there are certain guys that are trying to save the tires, and there are certain guys that are just trying to get out there and make their name known. And it's tough for these guys, and it's tough for me. I want to go out there and lead every lap, but you gotta manage tires, and if you're gonna manage tires, you literally have to start doing it from the drop of the green flag, from the very first corner. You have to lift. You can't go out there and run the fastest laps that you were running in qualifying, because you won't have any tires by the end of it. And so when we're out there and we're trying to save tires, I was trying to save tires so hard, and it's tough because I had a couple of guys, I've been spun out a few times this week, so I got into it. Not so much got into it, but we talked a little bit about the almost 3 wide incidences going on, and that's just another thing. You got one guy that's lifting sooner than the other guy, and there's 2, 3, 4 different types of racing styles going on, and it's just hard for everybody to kind of judge what everybody's doing. I got on the back of a couple of the guys because I misjudged them when they were gonna get out of the throttle, but I'm happy with this 3rd place finish. I'm glad that we were able. I felt like we were running them down. We were gaining on them at times.
Absolutely.
We had the fastest car at the end of that race, but it took so long to get around Scott. Scott, I give Scott credit. I mean, it's like I was racing Joey Logano and Ross Chastain out there. It was like I'd back up that corner a little bit and try to get that slingshot down on the inside, and right about the time I'd get there, he'd fling that door shut, and I'd be like, all right, now I'm going to go to the top side. And I don't know if you guys got it, but I was working that top, trying to get around some of these guys, and they were doing what they were supposed to. They were guarding the bottom. They were doing everything they could to hold that bottom. And it's up to me as the driver to get around them any way that I can without impeding their race.
But you were up there, I mean, ripping the nosebleeds, finding speed for that car. And I love watching you just hot on that racetrack, try to do anything and everything to find a way around. I loved watching it. I mean, there was a lot I wanted to say that I couldn't say because it was so dang good watching it, man. I was having a blast. I'm sitting there going, how did he get that car to turn way up there? I mean, it was a lot of fun watching you, TJ. I had a great time.
Well,
but,
I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun watching you out there on the racetrack. Oh, one more thing before I forget, man. Before we close this interview out, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 51? The floor is yours.
Well, first thing I want to do is a birthday shout out for our good buddy Pete Pellini. He is the original driver of the 51 here in our group, and he has been battling cancer about 5, 6, 7 years now. They gave him 3 to 6 months to live in December of last year, and he's still here. We went down to Bristol Motor Speedway this spring, had a phenomenal time with a bunch of the NASCAR drivers. He was meeting down there with Parker Retzlaff and all that, and it was just a really good time. And we just want to do a shout out, and anytime we're out here running around, and I got this 51 on this car, it's literally for Pete. You know, Pete's been a big inspiration to all of us on the track and off the track. And we wish him the best as it is his birthday, and we're rooting for a whole bunch more for him. I want to do a shout out to Christopher Pendel, my buddy there running the Celsius car. We've been hooked up for a couple of years. This is the first year in a few years that we've been back racing together on a league. So he picked up the win last week, and it's we were playing that pitch strategy right before we got going the green flag. I'm like, we need to make sure that we're saving a set of tires, and I obviously didn't make it to the first pit, but he got it done. It's hard, when you run a group of drivers and you expect to go out there. I don't expect to go out there and win, but I expect to go out there and run really, really well. And when you don't run really well, and then your teammate there, he just goes out there and wins it. It's tough because you're like, you're 50-50. You're like, man, I'm so upset, but so happy at the same time. So to do a shout out for Chris, so to do a shout out for Tim Ruark, a couple of our new guys that we got, Toby Riders in the 3 car. Ryan Combs was watching tonight, my friends and family, Sam, all those guys. I want to thank you guys for broadcasting this race. And I want to thank Tier 1 for letting us come in and let you guys have fun watching us rip it around the top. You're going to see it a lot more throughout the season, and hopefully we'll have a good rest of the season here.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen, a driver that makes a living on going to the high side of the racetrack where Mama hides the cookies and finding some speed. In fact, he was the broadcast grinder of the race. He was in the trenches all race long, up on the wheel, fighting the good fight. That is the driver of the 51. TJ, how do I pronounce your last name? I don't want to screw it up anymore moving forward.
Yeah, hey, it's okay because I've heard it so many different ways, but it's Elaine. That's all.
Elaine, that's perfect.
Elaine.
Thank you.
Yep, no big
All
deal.
right.
My family loves it. They're like, man, what are they going to call you today?
Well, I appreciate you being kind about it. Some of these drivers get rather animated, so I figured, hey, well, I got you. I'm just going to ask you right there, and we'll get it done and over with. Well, there he is, comes home third. That is TJ. And, of course, want to thank him for everything he's done out there on the racetrack, putting on a high-flying, high-octane show, and for a great interview up here in the booth. Best of luck to you next week out on the racetrack. I'll be out there with you, and I'm going to see if I can learn a thing from you or two out there, because I'm telling you, you have a way of working that high line, and it is fun to watch. Thanks for your time, and have a great rest of the week.
Thank you.
Once again, that's the voice of TJ Elaine. Want to thank him for joining us up here in the booth. 1 down, 1 to go. Only thing left to do now, folks, is go over the results of tonight's race. And again, want to thank all of you for being on board with us. Make sure you smash the notifications button, ring the bell, come home to all the high-flying, high-octane racing action right here on Tier 1 Studio. That way you don't miss any of it each and every time we are live in prime time. You heard from the 97, Gary W. Smith, your winner, a very upset and disgruntled Greg Wood Jr. TJ, he was fired up, comes home third, and a driver on his crew that I think is a dark horse, if there ever was one, that does not get enough credit. It's that driver there in fourth, Christopher Pendle. Mr. Real Deal Teal comes home with a real fifth place finish, top 5 for him. Scotty Oddie in the 3 comes home 6. Christopher Lunsford in the 37 rounds out your top 7th. 8th belongs to Thomas Adams. 9th, Bill Sleep gets another top 10, while Zach Woods, the pastor that goes faster, in 10th. Matty Erickson, the 28 of I in 12th. Eddie Baker, who has had a rough night. Hopefully Eddie can shake off whatever bad mojo he has going on right now, because it has been a rough week, all things Tier 1 related for him. Look for him to come surging back next week. 14th belongs to Luca in the 36. Our brother from across the border in Canada, Justin Evans, rounds out the top 15 drivers that took the initial green flag of this race tonight. There's only one thing left to do, ladies and gentlemen, and that's thank all of you for being a part of this ride, this broadcast tonight. Got to thank all the partners, all the sponsors, all of the men and women behind the scene that make this great league possible. Without their support and their dedication, it certainly wouldn't be able to put on such a quality series, a quality league, and everything. I mean it. Tier 1, we have you covered. You need a setup, check the box. You want great league racing, check the box. You want special events, money racing, make sure you get signed up. We got one of those coming up in August. And as the late, great Tony Trapasso used to say, as you walk down the road of life this week, do us all a favor, don't play in traffic, and we'll see you next time right here on Tier 1 Studio.